Welcome back to the NBA Saga, where we dive deep into the stories behind the stats, the emotions behind the highlights, and the players who shaped the modern game. Today, we're asking a question that feels both familiar and thrilling. Can Nikola Jokic win the 2025-26 NBA MVP? It's not just a question about one man. It's a question about how we define greatness, about how we recognize dominance when it becomes so normal, so consistent, that it starts to feel like background music. And that's exactly what Nikola Jokic has done. He's made greatness feel ordinary. When you think of Jokic, the first word that should come to mind is control. He doesn't overpower opponents. He outthinks them. He doesn't sprint past defenders. He lures them into mistakes. He's not a storm. He's the calm inside the storm. Every movement is deliberate. Every pass has purpose. Every shot, every read, every fake, it's all part of a slow-burning masterpiece unfolding in real time. That's why even when the box score doesn't scream MVP, the game itself whispers it. Let's start with the simplest foundation: production. Over the past few years, Nikola Jokic has turned in statistical seasons that sound like video game cheat codes, near triple-doubles, sky-high efficiency, ridiculous passing numbers for a center, and yet we barely blink anymore because we've come to expect it. That's what makes him different. For most players, greatness is a peak. For Jokic, it's the baseline. His individual brilliance alone would make him an MVP contender every year. But the award isn't just about individual performance. It's about value. And that's where Jokic separates himself from everyone else. When he's on the court, the Denver Nuggets look like a championship caliber team. The offense hums. The ball moves. The confidence flows. When he sits, everything slows down. The offense loses its identity. It's like removing the heart from a body. Everything else still exists, but it stops functioning the same way. That's the definition of value. But here's where things get interesting. To win MVP again, Jokic has to overcome not just the other players, but the narrative that's built up around him. We all know he's great. The question is whether voters are bored of that greatness. The truth is, voters often want something new, a fresh story, a breakthrough star. They want the excitement of discovery. Jokic isn't new anymore. He's proven, established, reliable. And that reliability, ironically, might be his biggest obstacle. But maybe this season, that story changes. Maybe the narrative becomes about sustained excellence, about the rare ability to dominate over time. In sports, we tend to celebrate peaks, but we forget to honor endurance. Jokic might be the perfect reminder that true greatness isn't a one-year explosion. It's a long, steady fire that never goes out. Think about it. He's already a multiple-time MVP. He's an NBA champion. He's arguably the best passing big man in history. Yet somehow he keeps getting better. His touch around the rim, his decision-making, his conditioning, all still improving. And this is where his 2025-26 MVP case really comes alive. If he can lead Denver to another top seed while maintaining those absurdly efficient all-around numbers, then he's not just in the conversation, he is the conversation. Let's zoom out for a second. What defines an MVP season? Usually, it's a combination of three things: elite stats, team success, and a narrative that captures the imagination. Statistically, Jokic checks every box. He'll likely average around 28-30 points, double-digit rebounds, and near double-digit assists with shooting percentages that guards dream of. His advanced stats, player efficiency, win shares, plus minus, are almost always the best in the league. Team success, the Nuggets are built for it. They're cohesive, well-coached, and structured entirely around Jokic's skill set. As long as he stays healthy, Denver will be one of the top teams in the West. Narrative, that's the wild card. But if this season becomes a story about legacy, about a superstar refining perfection and redefining his era, then Jokic could easily become the face of that story once more. Still, competition will be fierce. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. The league is overflowing with young, hungry stars who want their turn at the crown. Each has the potential for a breakout MVP narrative. But what makes Jokic special is that he doesn't need hype. He doesn't need a storyline. His game is the story. He's the one player who can drop 30, 15, and 12 on any given night and barely celebrate. He just jogs back on defense, eyes calm, like he's still thinking about the next play. That unshakable focus is what separates him from everyone else. And then there's the intangible side of leadership, the part you can't measure in numbers. Jokic's teammates love playing with him. He never demands attention. He never blames anyone. He uplifts them quietly by example. You can see it in their body language. The way Jamal Murray plays with confidence. The way role players like Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. cut harder and shoot freer. They trust him completely, and that trust fuels the team's chemistry. That kind of leadership, invisible but powerful, is what turns a good team into a great one. Of course, there are challenges. Health is always the biggest. One minor injury, one missed stretch of games, and the MVP race can shift fast. Denver's supporting cast also needs to stay steady. If they struggle or the team dips in the standings, it could hurt Jokic's chances no matter how good he is individually. Then there's the fatigue factor. Voters might decide it's time to spread the love to a new face. But sometimes the best player simply refuses to give the voters a choice. If Jokic keeps playing at the level we've seen, if he continues to make dominance look easy, then by the end of the season, the ballots might right themselves. There's also something poetic about Jokic's approach to all of this. He doesn't seem to care about MVPs. He said it before, he values team success more than individual awards. And that's what makes him even more endearing. When you watch him play, you can tell this isn't a man chasing numbers. This is a man chasing harmony. Every assist, every rebound, every shot is all part of a rhythm, a flow. He doesn't force the game. He feels it. And when he's in that zone, basketball looks effortless. That's why people call him a genius, because he makes genius look natural. Let's paint the picture. It's March 2026. The Nuggets are sitting near the top of the Western Conference. Jokic is averaging another near triple-double. He's had multiple 40-point games, countless triple-doubles, and the Nuggets offense ranks number 1 in efficiency. Media chatter starts growing louder. Is this Jokic's year again? And then he drops a 50-point, 12-assist masterpiece in a nationally televised game, the kind of performance that stops everyone scrolling on their phones. At that moment, the MVP race ends. The Joker has the last laugh. If that happens, it won't be just another trophy. It'll be a coronation. The solidifying of Jokic as one of the greatest centers in basketball history. We're talking about a player already standing shoulder to shoulder with legends like Kareem, Shaq, Wilt, and Hakeem. But his path is different. His weapon isn't power or dominance, it's mind. He's proof that you don't have to be loud to lead. You don't have to be flashy to shine. You just have to understand the game better than everyone else. In the end, whether he wins MVP or not, Nikola Jokic has already achieved something even more rare. He's changed how the game is played. He's changed how we define valuable. And because now every team is looking for their own version of him, a big man who can think like a guard, pass like a point, and score when it matters most. He's not just setting records, he's setting blueprints. So can he win MVP again? Absolutely. He's got the talent, the team, the numbers, and the respect. The only question is whether voters are ready to appreciate the kind of greatness that doesn't scream for attention, the kind that speaks softly through action, precision, and unshakable calm. Thank you for watching the NBA Saga. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let us know below. Do you think Nikola Jokic will take home another MVP trophy, or will a new challenger rise this season? We love hearing your thoughts and debates. Until next time, stay tuned, stay passionate, and remember, real greatness doesn't always need to shout. Sometimes it just makes the perfect pass.